I'm Tom Silva, and welcome back to this old house.
Today, there's a new law on how to deal with lead paint. We're going to tell you all about it. Norm's going to have a look at one of the original houses in our neighborhood.
This is what we really need.
Yeah, wow, now you're talking. This is terrific.
With our toxic materials gone, we can now take down our old sun porch.
And then we're going to break out the heavy equipment and start digging into our house. We are back at it here in Auburndale, Massachusetts. Now, last week it was all about removing the asbestos. This week we're on to our next hazardous material, lead paint. There are some new rules on how to deal with it, and it is all over our house. It's all over the back sun porch, which is coming off today, and also all over the front of the house. Now, we've got a little entryway addition going on, so we've got to start with some demolition, and that means we called Roger in, who's doing his own little demolition here of the garden. Roger, what are you up to?
Well, we're pulling out the yews, Kevin.
Can't save them?
No, they're not a great shrubbery now. If you look inside, there's nothing to them. They've been sheared to death. But more importantly, we're going to be putting on a new front entrance to this house.
Right.
And it's going to be beautiful. But involved in doing that, I have to dig footings here. So I would have to rip these guys out anyway.
So you got to make some space for this addition, which is why you're pulling them and why you're digging a trench?
Yeah, one thing you got to do when you have plants like this, foundation planting, especially ones with really aggressive root systems, is dig a trench between the plant and the house. The roots could actually be in the foundation, and we don't want to damage that.
Well, we don't want to attach the bobcat to a yew, which is really attached to our foundation, do we?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Now, one other important thing to do is call your utility locating service and make sure that where the gas, water, and electric are located.
All right, you called them. Did you find anything?
We did. You see the yellow flag next to the dumpster? Runs down to this one. This is our gas line. It's running right under the center of this yew.
So what do we do about this guy?
Well, the guys are going to dig it by hand, and we're going to remove it so we ensure no damage to the gas line.
All right, but in either case, it's time to pull.
Let's pop them out. All right, Kevin, Armando's wrapped the chain around the trunk. What you got to do now is just pull the chain up tight, bring it up to the hook on the bobcat, pull it nice and tight, drop it in the slot. Now, Fred and the bobcat will do all the hard work. Go ahead, Fred. All right, that's good. All right, this is going to be a fairly large one, so watch out. This is why I like to yank the yews out. I've got the stump out, I've got the root system. Now we'll have a place to plant.
And you're actually cleaning the root ball off a little bit
Right,
here.
we're going to use it to backfill the hole, and that's one less step. We have to clean up all this stuff. The roots usually only go down 12 to 18 inches, but in some cases, that can be the exact depth of the gas line. That's why the guys are being real careful not to hit it.
Stubborn guys, aren't they?
There goes the last one.
All right.
Roots and all.
So we get that out of here. We got ourselves a nice, big, clean front yard, which sets us up for starting the paint removal.
House looks better already.
Yeah. Boy, I tell you, that's my kind of weeding, Roger. Oh, Tommy, come on, pal. How many times have I told you you're not supposed to wear white before Memorial Day?
Oh, I know that, Kevin, but it's slimming, isn't it?
Yeah, on somebody.
Hey.
I don't know, I'm just kidding. You look good. Sort of. So what's the deal? This is the new getup for you?
It's a new getup, and you're going to be seeing a lot of it.
Why is that?
The EPA has set up new guidelines when dealing with lead paint.
Okay.
Now, I have to also assume that houses built prior to 1978 have lead paint in it.
Well, that's this one.
Right? I have to test to see if there is lead paint.
Yep.
If lead paint shows up, then I have to deal with the project differently. I have to set it up differently. I have to protect myself, the workers, and the homeowners.
So hence the suit.
Hence the suit.
Wow. Look at this. I've never seen this before. So Ron, you're our abatement specialist, but you also helped the EPA formulate this law, right?
Correct, yeah. We were back in 2006. They were looking for industry feedback, and we provided some.
And why did the EPA put this law in place?
Basically for worker and for homeowner and for children protection. There was a lot of dust that gets generated during any kind of renovation project, and a lot of that happens to be lead dust.
And so how nasty is the lead? What does it do to us?
Well, for young children and even for grown-ups, it affects the neurological system. For young children, especially under 6 years old, when their brains are still developing, lead gets in the way, and it actually will cause brain damage, frankly, and loss of IQ points and a whole host of other health issues.
So let's talk about the specifics, Ron, because I see plastic laid here all over the ground.
Correct.
What's the purpose of this?
Well, first off, you just want to avoid getting the lead debris into the ground, so we seal it right against the foundation of the house, bring it out 10 feet past the work area. Set up caution tape, some cones, a little curbing here to make sure that nothing really blows off or runs off.
So this little built up here, the 2x4 is your curbing for the whole
Correct,
thing.
exactly.
So this is containment. I see the guys have got those slimming white suits on.
Slimming white suits.
Respirators as well. What else are they doing differently?
Kevin, before these new rules, we used to take the debris, drop it on the ground, pick up the pile, and carry it to the dumpster. Now we have to take the debris, wrap it in plastic, tape it, and then bring it to the dumpster.
More of this containment idea.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you, whose responsibility is this? If I'm doing the work myself on my own house, I don't hire anybody, I do the work, do I have to go through all this?
No, you don't. Homeowners are exempt. If you hire a contractor, it's a totally different story. But it's always a good idea to follow lead-safe work practices, no matter what you're doing on your house, but you're not obligated by this regulation.
But the second I hire somebody, I've got to make sure I get the right person, a certified contractor.
You want to make sure that they're a certified contractor.
How do I make sure they're certified?
You can check them on the EPA website and confirm that they have the certification. And also, when they show up and sign your contract and before they begin the job, they'll be handing you a Renovate Right booklet, EPA guideline.
It actually looks like this pretty much spells it all out. Where does the lead come from? How to test for it?
It really does. It's a good little tutorial.
What about time and cost? Because we haven't done this in the past. We haven't laid down plastic, bagged things up, put guys in suits and respirators. What's this going to do in terms of the cost?
It certainly drives the cost up. I mean, it's something that ordinarily a good contractor would be doing to a great extent just to maintain a safe, clean work site. So it's not that radical, especially on the exterior. It's not a whole lot more work, 5, 10, maybe 15% more cost.
Wow, it looks like a whole lot more work to me.
All right, guys, it's all set. Take it out.
We don't let the guys in the contained area take the debris up into the dumpster because they're wearing suits that are contaminated with lead dust and debris. They're going to wind up tracking that debris all across the backyard as they go to the dumpster. So they hand it off to the guys in the clean zone who then carry it, no cross-contamination, nice and clean, right up into the dumpster, and we keep the work area isolated.
So it looks like our lead party continues out front here. What did you find was contaminated?
Pretty much like in the back, all the shingles, all the woodwork, any original components, lead painted. So they're going to have to be taken off the same way as in the back, very carefully, and then all bagged up and taken off to the dumpster.
So you've got a bag here going into a normal dumpster. We recently bagged up some asbestos, and there was a big chain of control. It went to a special landfill.
Right.
Same drill with this?
This is not considered hazardous at this point. It's just considered construction debris.
So this goes to a regular construction landfill.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And just how big is the scope of work?
Well, for example, in the front of the house, we're only removing the shingles and the trim where we're actually doing, where Tommy and you guys are going to be doing an addition in the front and new entryway. So we're only removing the shingles that are directly affected by that project.
And the rest of the shingles on the sidewall, they can stay?
Right.
It's actually quite a bit to navigate, but it is our new reality, right?
It is.
All right, well, we appreciate your expertise.
Thanks.
And your hard work.
Looking at the houses in our neighborhood, it is hard to believe that this was an early American subdivision created in the 1930s. Prior to that, it was one huge estate with an imposing mansion right at the end of the peninsula. One remnant of that grand estate is just a few houses away.
What was once the drive up to the estate is now our street.
Right, but back in the day, you didn't just drive up to the mansion. You had to make a stop first at the gatehouse so you could be announced to the owners.
Right, and this gatehouse is just beautiful and really is a miniature version of what that grand old estate must have once looked like.
Right, so you just imagine what the mansion looked like. It must have been amazing. And it's Gothic revival, and we know that from some of the details. The different colors of masonry, you have the red bricks and the cement bricks. You have a slate roof, and that's actually the original slate roof on this house. You have these recessed dormer windows with the steep gable roof above it and the carved verge boards and all these brackets. And a very important detail are these arches that are over the front doorway and over the windows. Now, when the current owners bought the house in 1968, it was painted battleship gray. They sandblasted the paint off the brick, then they did a lot of research on appropriate colors, and when they were all done, they did such a good job, it's now in the National Register of Historic Places.
Wow.
And I have the key.
Let's check it out. Wow.
Yeah, it's equally amazing on the inside.
Oh, it sure
Look at
is.
the railing on this staircase, how it curves around up to the second floor. And you know, the house looks really large from the street, but it's not very deep. In fact, in this section, this is the original back wall of the house. Now, it's been added on to over the years, but there are only 2 rooms at the front of the house.
Yeah, and let's take a look at how our neighbors are using those rooms now. This they're using as a parlor. It's a beautiful room with a gorgeous fireplace here and just lots of nice detail.
Right, and these are functional fireplaces. I'm sure that this is how they heated this house originally. But you know, this is pretty grand living for a service house. Beautiful bay window with good views, nice high ceilings, which I love, and a detailed plaster cornice that runs all the way around the room. This is pretty nice living.
Sure is.
You know, maybe the caretaker lived down here too.
Right. Well, let's take a look at how this other room is being used. Our neighbors, one of them is a professor, so they're using this as a library, and he's actually published a few books, probably written right at that desk.
Right here? Wow. I'd be interested in reading some of his work. And look at this as a library. This is what I call a library. Floor to ceiling bookcases just filled. You know, if I spent a little bit of time in this room, I'd probably get a little bit smarter. But you know, I just don't understand the people in this neighborhood. The Charles River is just a stone's throw away, and we have a big solid wall here. I can't see it.
Right, well, you raised a good point, Norm, but that's why we brought you over here, because if you walk around this way, you're going to see some great inspiration for our project. Now, this is what we really need.
Yeah, wow, now you're talking. A nice, big, bright space, plenty of glass. Now I can enjoy seeing the beautiful Charles River and enjoy the backyard, all the gardens out here. This is terrific.
Right, so it's got the views, it's got the light, and another big piece that we want to incorporate into our project is access to the outdoors from the first floor. So out here we have this great deck.
Right, now you're going to have a deck that's coming off your kitchen, and it's going to be a little bit bigger than this. But this is where I would be, out here having my cup of coffee in the morning and enjoying the outdoors, the river, hearing the birds. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this.
Right, no, this is why we bought the house. This is what it's all about.
Right, well, you know, in a few months you're going to have all of this and maybe even a little bit more.
Great.
Our little 1940 house is empty. The homeowners moved out 2 days ago, and that means we can get started on the addition. We are putting 2 new stories of living space. A family room down below, a sunroom up here, and because the master bedroom is above us, a proper deck coming off of the master bedroom. So to make room for that, because we're actually going out, how many feet, Norm?
We're going to go out 7 feet, so this all has to go away.
Gotcha. And what's the prognosis, Tommy? How bad is it?
Well, other than the fact that the thing is really poorly constructed, we've got 2x3 walls. We've got a header that's insufficient for the span. And we've had a little bit of water leaking in here. You can see the mildew and the mold growing and the rot. And I think we got a lot of carpenter ants going in here too. You can see all the sawdust.
Just the kind of stuff you love. So this whole thing's going to come down.
Oh yeah, here we go. See him?
Oh, there's the
Look up on the
nest.
back of that panel.
Yep, all right. So that's all we need to know. So it comes down, and we know we're lead-free because you're not in your pretty little white suit.
Pretty white suit, but I found out that blue is slimming also.
Not about as slimming as the white.
Hey.
So we start upstairs?
Let's go on the roof.
Our homeowners are going to really enjoy waking up every morning in their master bedroom and being able to come out to a brand new deck and take in those views right there. How sweet are those, Tommy, huh?
Beautiful view, Kevin.
And how dilapidated is this railing?
Yeah, not a pretty railing.
Well, at least it'll come down quickly, right?
Well, yeah, it's gonna come down. Really, look at this. Nice.
All right.
Just gonna throw the stuff right down off the side.
Knock it off?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, good. There's one section. Look at that. Nice.
Yeah. Tommy, you know, it seems like it's coming down pretty easy. In fact, maybe a little too easy.
Yeah, well, it's pretty light construction. Look at these roof rafters right here, Kevin. These are 2x6 roof rafters, and they're framed 2 feet on center. Today's building code wouldn't allow that.
16 on 7.
16 on center at least, and probably 2 by 8s. Now another thing to look at right here is the connection that's made when the roof after meets the sidewall. It's actually just butted against it. They just cut out the roof and they toenailed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 16 penny nails.
Not what you would do today.
No, you would have to have a steel hanger on that. You have to make sure that the hanger is filled with nails, both to the wall and to the joist.
Well, that explains why it's coming down so easily.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Woo! Look at those ants.
Now we go after the header.
Let me get this out of here.
Now these lallies that hold up the front edge of the porch just sit in these plates which are tacked to the beam.
This plate's not even attached over here, and I think it was being held in place with paint.
All right, well, we're temporarily going to hold the floor up with these 2x4s. Let's take the lallies out. Now that the center 2 lally columns are out, let's take out the temporary post. All of the weight of the floor will be on the outside lallies. Woo! Okay, now we can stand on the outside.
All right, we've put another temporary post right here so I can get this lally column out. And once this is out, we should be able to kick that post and hopefully the deck will come down.
And it'll all come down in one piece.
Yeah, we hope so.
All right, boys, on 3. You guys ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Up. Whoa!
You got yours. Here it comes.
Watch yourself.
Perfect.
So not long after Roger gets the yews out, you have him dig a big hole here, Tommy, for a new foundation?
New foundation. Because we're putting a new entryway in, we have to put a foundation under it.
All right, but it's not that big of an entryway, and that's a pretty serious foundation. Do we have to go that deep?
Doesn't matter how big the entryway is. The building code requires that our foundation under our entryway is 4 feet below grade. That's for frost protection.
All right, so there's our 4 feet.
Now, if you look right here, back in the 40s, they didn't have the same rule. It's only 36 inches.
It's the 3-foot rule.
That's right.
All right.
All right. So what we have to do is we're going to run our footing underneath this foundation, so when we pour it, it will underpin or support this part of the foundation.
So our foundation will be deep enough and will tie into the existing foundation.
Exactly.
Now, do we have to fix the existing foundation all the way across the front?
No, only the area right here we disturbed, not the area all the way to the garage. Okay. What we do have to fix is this part of the house right here. See this piece of sheathing? And you can look at the sill right here. It's rotted. Now, I don't know how bad it is. I haven't taken this piece off yet.
Well, what do you think caused all that rot?
Well, if you look at the grade right here, the dirt is actually up against the foundation, which is up against the sill right here. So that gets wet and it rots the wood. Today's building code requires that the dirt be 8 inches below the untreated wood.
Okay, so drop that grade right there, yeah?
Look right here in the corner. This is where the concrete stoop was.
Yeah, look at that rot.
All right, now look, the sill is rotted way under here. I can just pull that out.
Yep. The whole house is rotten.
Yeah, a lot of ants. It goes all the way around here, goes around the corner, over here, and look at underneath the doorway. You can see this is all gone.
So this is going to be a lot more than just lower in grade. You're probably going to have to replace this sill here?
Right. Well, this is going to end up inside the house, so we have to replace the sill anyways.
Okay. Then we pour a footing here. What else are you working on?
Well, let me show you what we get going inside.
Now, out back here, Tommy, I am buying the idea of a full foundation because we've got a big addition going back here. 2 stories, right?
2-story high, 15 feet out, and about 17 feet wide.
Okay, so pour the footing, then the foundation wall?
Right. Now, this room is actually opened into the basement. All right. Now, this is a poured concrete foundation. It's 12 inches thick.
And you're telling me that this has got to go?
It's got to go. The first thing we had to do is take the weight of the house off of this foundation. So I removed the sill and cut the studs and the joists free to take the load off of this foundation.
Well, if the foundation isn't holding up the house, what is?
Well, let me show you. Come on inside. Now, down here in the basement, we've actually built a temporary wall. We've actually built 3 walls, 1 on each level, and they all line up.
And did they go all the way up to the roof line?
They do. And these walls are now carrying the entire back load of the house.
So any wall outbound of your temporary wall is no longer carrying the house, and it can go?
It can go
And so how do you make a 12-inch thick concrete wall go?
with a 30-inch saw.
Nice.
But we also have another opening over here that we have to cut. This is for a 6-foot sliding glass door.
Let's get that saw working.
All right. Mike Gately from our concrete cutting crew is setting up to make one of the cuts.
Okay. And where is this 30-inch? Oh, there it is.
Right here, Kevin.
Nice.
It's all little diamond chips all the way around this blade.
All right.
We'll start with the 18-inch blade first because the 30 will wander.
Wait, but we will get to the 30-inch at some point.
Right after the 18.
All right.
You'll get your 30-inch blade, Kevin.
Thank
Don't
you,
worry.
please.
To keep the saw cut clean and to keep the dust down, they're going to actually spray water on the blade as it's cutting.
So they've got a little bit of a shroud here that goes over the blade?
Yeah, and a garden hose is hooked up to that.
So here's how we power up the saw. It's a 90 to 100 pound PSI 3/4 inch hose connected to the truck where we have an air compressor.
All right, so now that the cut's been made, we can take the saw and track off and then drop the wall.
That's right, they'll push it right outside.
Nice.
Now before they remove the wall, they're going to jackhammer out the header. Here it comes, number one.
Looks like it's gonna come out in pieces, Tommy.
Top one first.
Hey!
Now they'll get the other side.
And the second piece.
Second piece. All right.
So we got the two sides down, and then they just gotta knock out the bottom, and then we can turn our attention to this big piece across the back.
Big piece in the back is next.
Nice. All right, Mike, how's it going?
Good, good. On this wall here, we got both horizontal and vertical cuts completed. All that's left now is we have to pry it out with the bars.
Now we can't just tilt it out because it won't clear the opening. It'll hit the joist up above. This thing weighs about 3 tons, so we're jacking the bottom and sliding it out.
And it's actually moving. You can see that guy going out.
Oh yeah, it's out about 2 inches right now.
Bottle jacks are really getting at it.
Oh yeah, look right there. It's getting
There
ready
it
to go.
goes.
Oh, there
it
she goes.
Oh, there you go.
Right, that's great.
Yes, it is. Now the good news is, Kevin, we don't have to jackhammer this piece out and take all the pieces out. We can use it as fill.
And look at all the sun coming into our new family room down here. That's terrific.
Great big opening.
Well, we are really underway.
We're moving along quickly.
All right, well, until next time, I'm Kevin O'Connor.
And I'm Tom Silva.
For this old house. Hey, you know, we're really tearing this place apart.
Yeah, but you know, eventually we got to start putting it back together.
I'll leave that up to you.
Oh, thanks.